Starting today, you're living alone in this house because your presence isn't beneficial for our child's upbringing. Right after giving birth, my husband dragged me into an old apartment near his parents' home. But how am I supposed to live alone in a place like this? Give me my child back. Don't cause a scene like that. It's disgraceful and it bothers the neighbors. Please be quiet. Beside my husband, my mother-in-law stood scowling and disregarding my pleas with harsh words. And, to add insult to injury, she started to leave bags of organic waste in front of the rundown building every day. With no place to throw away the accumulating trash, I reluctantly opened one of the bags to find something unbelievable inside. I am Sarah, a 27-year-old housewife. It's been 2 years since I married Alex, and we were anxiously waiting for our first child's birth. However, my joy was overshadowed by worries about Alex's spendthrift ways, his temper, and the relationship with my mother-in-law. We were living with his mother at his parents' home since his father passed away early. My relationship with my mother-in-law was far from pleasant. She criticized me at every turn, and Alex would frequently rebuke me, upset by our exchanges. "What kind of folding is this? You'll crease the clothes. Can't you do even this properly? Start again from the beginning." "But the other day, Mother, you told me to fold them this way." "What? Are you blaming me?" My mother-in-law threw the clothes I'd folded onto the floor, messing them up, and angrily pushed them into the nearby laundry basket. She constantly criticized my household chores, and more often than not, she would change her instructions, making it look like I was the one making mistakes.
"Sarah, why can't you remember simple things? Imagine how I feel, coming home from work and always having to hear about this."
Whenever Alex heard such conversations, he'd instantly lose his temper, lash out at objects, and blame me loudly. Alex was cold to me, yet strangely possessive. The only numbers on my cell phone were Alex's and his family's. My internet history was visible to Alex as if shared, and my location was monitored through GPS. I knew Alex was jealous before we married, but instead of getting better, the constraints worsened. I was tired and started considering divorce. I managed to contact a law firm I spotted on a billboard from a payphone at a store. I explained my situation and began preparations for divorce. Fortunately, I had some savings from before the marriage. The lawyer sympathized with my situation and assured me,
"We will definitely get your divorce settled. As for the payment, you can pay it in installments after your life stabilizes."
One day, I noticed I had been feeling unwell for a few days. I rushed to the hospital, and to my disbelief, I found out I was pregnant. I had been taking precautions to avoid pregnancy for the sake of the divorce, but Alex had hidden my medication, and I suspect that was when I got pregnant. Mixed feelings of joy for the child and anger towards Alex's actions made me determined to divorce soon. But I had no family home to return to, and with severe morning sickness, I couldn't act as quickly as I wanted, and had to spend the days leading up to childbirth at Alex's family home. Alex, knowing about the child, softened his attitude, either convinced I wouldn't run away or genuinely happy about the child.
"We'll need to renovate the house for the baby. If it's a boy, he'll play basketball or football, and if it's a girl, she'll learn to respect men."
He shared his self-centered educational philosophy. All the while, I kept responding vaguely, knowing internally that I'll divorce once the baby is born. During my pregnancy, my mother-in-law said to me, "If something happens to you, the neighbors might misunderstand and think I did something. So Sarah, just focus on the baby and don't do anything extra. I don't understand why Alex had a child with someone like you. I'll take care of you until the baby is born, but I really wish you would leave." Despite her constant complaints, she stopped piling chores on me, and I was able to rest. My morning sickness was severe, but even though she complained, "What on earth can you eat? You're so troublesome," she did prepare meals, which helped me get by. However, I almost suffered from malnutrition and had to spend the week before childbirth in the hospital. I safely gave birth to a healthy baby boy and was about to contact my lawyer to proceed with the divorce from Alex as planned when I noticed all my pre-marriage savings were gone. My diary, where I documented harassment from Alex, and my mother-in-law, which I was planning to give to my lawyer, was also missing. Could it be Alex? I was shocked, and then I heard Alex's voice from behind me.
Looking for this?
I turned around, and there was Alex, smirking, and holding the diary that I had locked and hidden deep in the closet.
You even locked it. What were you writing?
Give it back.
Shut up. What were you hiding from me, your husband?
I'm preparing for our divorce. I can't live any longer with someone as unpredictable as you, who quickly resorts to throwing things and shouting to make me obey. I want a divorce, I declared, straying from my plan, but determined to see it through.
Fine. I'll give you a divorce, but the kids are staying with me.
With that, Alex dragged me to a rundown apartment in the neighborhood near his parents' home.
You, staying close is bad for the kids. From today, you're living here alone. While you're living here, I'll let you see the kids once a week. If you leave, you'll never see them again.
What are you saying? Give me back my kids. Stop making a scene. You're disturbing the neighborhood. Please keep it down. Suddenly, my mother-in-law, who had joined us unnoticed, scolded me while holding my child. I need to get out of this situation somehow. I thought desperately, but no solution came to mind, and I was thrust into the dilapidated apartment. It seemed that Alex had noticed my intentions to divorce during my hospital stay and prepared this situation meticulously. My kids ended up with Alex, and I couldn't just abandon them in their current situation. The next day, I waited for Alex to leave before I tried to leave the apartment to check on the situation at my in-laws, but I noticed a strange smell. Investigating, I found to my shock that there were bags of organic waste dumped outside my room. I couldn't believe my eyes, but I immediately knew it was my mother-in-law's doing. Oh, Sarah, you're just waking up. Even if we're taking care of the kids, don't you think you're lacking a sense of responsibility as a mother? Well, never mind. There's no space at our place for this garbage, so you could keep it here until garbage day. While holding my child, my mother-in-law brazenly said this to me when I visited her house. I have to get my kids back and contact a lawyer. Thinking this, I waited for an opportunity, but 3 days passed. Every morning during this time, bags of organic waste were dumped in front of my house. I was filled with rage, wondering what I had done to deserve this. However, on the third day, a turning point came. It was when I was moving the usual bag of garbage dumped in front of my house. Usually, the garbage bag was black, but that day, it was a white bag that was see-through. And upon closer inspection of the bag, I noticed an envelope inside addressed to Sarah. I immediately took out the envelope and checked inside, where I found several $100 bills and a letter from my mother-in-law. In it, she wrote about wanting to help with the kids and the divorce from Alex, but being under surveillance and unable to do anything, that she had been putting envelopes with some money in the garbage bag since a few days ago, and an apology for what happened. Surprised by this, I checked the other garbage bags, and sure enough, there were envelopes in the other bags as well, each with a small amount of cash inside. I am truly sorry for all I've done. I knew about Alex's abhorrent behavior, and I was harsh to you because I wanted you to escape from him. Due to Alex's surveillance, I had to resort to such measures. I sincerely apologize for all the troubles I have caused. As for the money, I'm sorry I could only give you this much, while dodging Alex's watchful eyes. Yesterday I received a call from a lawyer. He didn't give me many details, but he mentioned he'll visit tomorrow noon. Please, run away with your child. I will deal with Alex. I'm really sorry. The note from my mother-in-law was written in ink that had blurred in places, perhaps due to her tears. Reading it, I realized for the first time that she too was a victim of Alex's behavior. I also learned that while she took good care of me during my pregnancy, she also managed to keep my child safe from Alex's scrutiny. The shocking contents of the letter left me bewildered. Given Alex's personality, it was possible that he had even been looking down on his mother just because she was a woman, even though she was his own mother. In the other bag was an envelope, filled not only with cash, but also more letters of apology, and countless pictures of my child. Feeling my mother-in-law's concern, I sorted my thoughts for the lawyer's meeting the following day and fell asleep. The next day, I was awakened by the sound of the intercom. When I opened the door, my worn-out mother-in-law was standing there, holding my child. "Alex is on a business trip starting today and won't be back for 3 days. This might be our last chance. I am truly sorry." "What will you do now, mother-in-law? Won't Alex fly into a rage when he finds out the child is gone?" "Probably, but that's my responsibility since I raised Alex. Besides, I can't work at my age, and since I'm not very smart, I can't survive without Alex's support." I invited my mother-in-law into the house to hear more of her story. As it turned out, she had been subjected to a form of brainwashing from Alex and her late husband, who constantly told her she was incompetent. Her life was devoid of freedom, dedicated entirely to them. She wasn't even allowed to watch TV when her husband was alive, and it was only after his death that she was able to watch a few programs. It was through them that she realized something was wrong with her situation. However, she was unable to free herself and became cold and distant towards me when I came into the family as Alex's wife, hoping to prevent me from suffering the same fate. "I may never forget what you said to me, mother-in-law, and my wounds may not heal easily, but you've paved the way for me to escape from Alex. Let's run away together. We have to avoid letting Alex ruin the rest of our lives." My mother-in-law looked puzzled at my words. "I can't do that. I'm good for nothing. I'll only be a burden if I run away with you," she insisted. In the midst of all of this, the lawyer I had been consulting since before my pregnancy arrived. I told him everything that had happened, and his face grew grim as he listened.
"What do you want to do, ma'am? Please tell me your true feelings. I will support you with all my might."
After some contemplation, the lawyer asked my mother-in-law with sincerity. She responded, "I truly want to break free from Alex. I love him because he is my child. But living a life constantly being invalidated is unbearable. It's painful to think I won't see my grandchild anymore, but..." With this story, she showed the lawyer her bruised arm. The bruise was so large it shocked me. When I asked my mother-in-law about it, she revealed that after I left, Alex had become abusive due to our child's crying at night. She said such incidents were frequent before our marriage, but had not occurred since I became his wife. The lawyer's expression filled with anger as he started persuading us to escape, promising to teach Alex a harsh lesson. Yet his persuasion fell on deaf ears, and my mother-in-law went straight back to her marital home, waiting for Alex to return. We couldn't change her decision, so the lawyer and I began preparing to flee. I called my cousin, explained the situation, and asked if I could hide at her place for a while. She accepted, crying, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I quickly packed and headed to my cousin's house with my child. A few days later, I got a call from the lawyer, asking if I wanted to participate in a discussion about divorcing Alex. During the call, the lawyer told me that my mother-in-law had changed her mind and would join the discussion. I decided to participate, as it was going to be the last time. On the day of the meeting at the lawyer's office, Alex and my mother-in-law were already there. Seeing me, Alex said,
"I was worried. I will kick Mom out. Let's live together, just the three of us."
Ignoring him, I took my seat, and the lawyer started explaining about the divorce, alimony, and child support. Alex kept pleading with me to return, but I replied, "Alex, the lawyer is speaking. Can't you listen when he is discussing something so important? Have you ever thought about how I feel? Hearing you talk about our life together when I'm already tired of it?" Alex's face turned red, and he seemed ready to explode, but he held back, likely due to the lawyer's presence. After the lawyer finished explaining, and when the discussion had calmed down, Alex asked,
"What are you so unhappy about? If it's not about Mom, we can work it out, can't we? How can you not understand that I love you so much? Do you really think we can divorce over something like this?"
"Love, don't make me laugh. You've isolated me from the outside world, subjected me to your anger. How can you be so selfish?" I replied, laughing. Alex stood up, but sat back down at the lawyer's instruction. He then turned his rage towards his mother.
"Why are you silent when Sarah is leaving because of you? How could you give her money without consulting me, ruining our child's happiness?"
he shouted. "To ensure Sarah's life wouldn't become miserable because of you," my mother-in-law retorted, and produced an IC recorder that had captured the constant derogatory and controlling words Alex had thrown at me. She had been preparing for this day since before I got pregnant.
"With this amount of evidence, a divorce would undoubtedly be granted, even if it comes to a trial. Would you rather agree to a divorce here and now, or let it escalate to a trial and have it become known to your company and those around you?"
The lawyer grouped all the evidence I had gathered, thrusting a divorce at Alex. Alex, seeming resigned, slumped and signed the divorce papers, saying,
"I'll divorce here. I'll transfer the money right away. Just give me another chance."
"When? Right now? Do you have the full amount ready?" As I responded to Alex's plea, he instantly brightened up, promising to arrange the money immediately, and rushed off to the bank. Returning quickly, a smiling Alex showed me the transaction history and asked,
"How about now? Feeling like coming back a little?"
I laughed out loud at this, replying, "You can't be serious. You think if I come back, this money comes back too? I'll never see you again." With that final statement from me, Alex was stunned. And to put the final nail in the coffin, my mother-in-law chimed in. "I've put up with a lot till now, but if it ends this quickly, it's for the best. Alex, I'm leaving you. I'll live on my own." She then handed out a piece of paper. "Don't involve me anymore. If you do, I'll take this to the police." The paper was a medical report of injuries inflicted on my mother-in-law by Alex. Then the lawyer calmly stated,
"From your past behavior and evidence collected so far, your mother is well prepared to file a lawsuit."
Alex broke down crying.
"Why? Even Mom is betraying me."
In response to Alex's anguished voice, my mother-in-law grimaced, and I addressed him. "Betrayal? You're the one raising a hand to your family. Yet when you get hurt by that same family, you cry. We've been enduring all this time." Ignoring Alex, who was glaring at us in silence, I took my mother-in-law's hand and left the office. After that, the meeting at the lawyer's office with Alex concluded smoothly, and my mother-in-law sold the family home and moved to Atlanta, relying on her relatives. Apparently, she was living comfortably off her late husband's considerable legacy. As for me, I got a job in a faraway place after the divorce was finalized. Now, with the help of others around me, I am living a new life with my child. My marriage was filled with endurance and my own preconceptions, putting up with unnecessary suffering and almost ruining my life. I want my child to avoid such pointless endurance and hope they become a gentle person with their own will, consideration, and kindness towards others. While praying for this, I want to take care of my own heart and move forward in my new life.